Tiz here. This is sort of a continuation to my live stream reaction to the Final Fantasy VII stream, mainly the Part 2 trailer. My brother's joining me again, and we're going to go over our overall thoughts and whatnot. To start, I'm mostly going to talk about the Part 2 trailer, whereas my brother wants to talk about Crisis Core Reunion. So I'll start first. This video will include spoilers from the original 7 and remake, and also Crisis Core, so if you've somehow been able to dodge those so far, be sure to click the back button. Okay, so first I wanted to say that the choice of the name, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is interesting, but not at all surprising. It sort of confirms that it's no longer just a remake, but an actual sequel to the original game. I mean, at the end of Remake, Cloud and the party managed to defy fate and even break it. So now they've been given a fresh start and things don't need to necessarily follow the events of the original game. So with this in mind, Rebirth is a very fitting title. This game could go entirely off the rails, following locations that we're familiar with, but throwing us into completely new stories and events. Aerith's quote at the beginning of this trailer reinforces this logic.
What we've done, that's set in stone. The past is forever. But the future, even if it has been written, can be changed. So focus on the future, not the past.
Moving on though, I'm hoping that the game opens up with the Nibelheim flashback. It's the bit of gameplay that the trailer manages to share, so it can be assumed that it's going to be pretty early. Now speaking of the flashback, with Zack being alive now, this really makes me wonder how the game is going to handle Cloud's identity crisis.
Yeah.
Right? Like, will there be a sort of paradox now, and will Cloud realize the truth on his own suddenly? Will it be overwritten entirely? I'm really curious because there's even a quote that implies that Cloud's aware of Zack's survival.
You were here with me 5 years ago. Where are you? What happened to you?
I'm trying so hard.
So without Zack's death, Cloud really has no reason to have this identity crisis that he struggled with in the original game.
Which was a huge plot point in the original, so it's like...
Yeah, so it's like, will it not be, I guess, as big as it was in the original? Even so, it's clear that he suffered that trauma in the first remake, though. Cloud would block out Zack's name, and we'd have headaches. Like, he'd have headaches whenever he was forced to confront anything that reminded him of the other. So I'm really curious to see how this will be handled in Rebirth, personally.
Yeah, me too.
Moving on to the Tifa quote.
I saw you lying there. I figured it was too late.
Wait, what are you implying? That I died? That I'm some kind of imposter?
I think that Cloud must be referencing the past, where he found Tifa in the Nibelheim reactor after Sephiroth injured her. Tifa, of course, didn't realize that Cloud was even there, so it makes sense that she'd be confused about what Cloud is even talking about, which is why I think she says what she does on the trailer. Lastly, we see the scene where Zack is carrying the unresponsive Cloud to Midgar, and it has me wondering if Zack will possibly be searching for them in Rebirth. It would be super cool, I think, if we switched between him and Cloud's group, until eventually they inevitably, cross paths.
Yeah, like maybe with Biggs and Jesse or something, if they're...
Yeah, like joining Zack's party, that would be really cool. And it would also make sense why they chose for, them to survive. Like, we see Biggs waking up at the end.
And a hint of Jessie.
Yeah, like you see her headband on the dresser and her glove. So it's implied that she's also alive. So it'd be kind of really cool if they teamed up with Zack and they kind of went searching for our main group together, and we even got to switch between both parties.
I would like that.
And hopefully Wedge survive too, please.
I don't know, but hopefully.
Hopefully. I hope so. I'm hoping for it. Other than those things, I just wanted to mention that the voice acting is top tier in this trailer, and even in Remake, I've become so fond of the new voices, especially Cody Christian as Cloud.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah, I really love him. Like, the remake, I have always liked Cloud, but the remake just kind of, I don't know, made me love him more.
And Cody Christian's performance is probably a big influence of that, honestly.
I think it is that, and just all the like little micro expressions that we get to see in Remake. It just makes Cloud more charming to me. I don't know. It just made me really like him a lot more, to the point.
Well, Cloud's always been like one of my favorite characters, like from 7 and Final Fantasy in general.
Yeah, I know he has.
And the remake, like, Zack used to always beat him, but like after the remake, I'm like, no, I think it's Cloud now.
Right? They just made Cloud so much more charming, and I don't know, it's hard not to like him.
They're just so deep with the characters in the remake.
Definitely. It just added so much more depth to all of them, and it really does help being able to hear their voices this time around, and see their expressions, and not just kind of have these little chibi, like, yeah.
As great as the original is.
As great as the original is, yes, it's legendary. But aside from what I already said, do you have anything to add, or do you want to just talk about Crisis Core now?
I'm trying to think. Like, you've said a lot of the things that I was thinking. Going back to what you were saying about the Nibelheim part, like how it was on the trailer.
Yeah, like the gameplay?
Yeah, I definitely think that's going to be the start. Like, I think the flashback is going to be the start of the game.
Oh, it has to be, because that was the only bit of gameplay that they showed us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, it's probably going to be early, and it makes sense that it's even the opening of the game. And it would be a good way to tutorial people, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Kind of like Sephiroth is like giving you the tutorial.
Yeah,
basically.
he's like your instructor.
Even though, you know, Cloud, Zack, Cloud, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
He is a soldier as well by that point. Not a first-class soldier, but a soldier nonetheless still.
He's still there.
Yeah, so like...
Even if he's remembering it wrong.
Exactly. And it's, But yeah, I'm excited to see it. And it makes sense, too, with how the first game ended even, because they were heading to Calm, right? At the end of the DLC.
Yeah.
And Calm is the place where they go to the inn.
Yeah, and he talks about it.
They're like, why don't you tell us about, like, Sephiroth and, like, your past with him? And then Cloud goes on, and then Tifa's like, this isn't making sense. Like,
yeah, of course she's confused because she's like, why does Cloud know all this, and why does he think he was that soldier? Like,
it would be great to see her expressions in the remake, like when Cloud's like...
Well, she already had a few points in Remake where she looks obviously puzzled after Cloud says something. Like, near the beginning when he first enters the bar after giving her the flower, he says something along the lines of like, well, yeah, like, of course I've changed. It's been 5 years or whatever. Yeah, and she just looks like, what? Like, no, it's been longer than 5 years. What are you talking about?
I haven't seen you since you were a kid. Like,
yeah. So she's clearly looking at him like, what the fuck, Cloud? Like, are you on drugs? Or do you not know how to count? Like, he must have got hit too much in that soldier training. His head, I mean. Too many concussions.
But yeah, it'll be great when Cloud gets even more in depth and just confuses her even more.
For sure. But yeah, do you want to go on about Crisis Core more, or I guess not more, but move on to it, or do you still have stuff you want to share?
Well, I'm a little curious now because like we've gotten the remake introduced to us now, Part 2.
Yeah.
Rebirth. Now we don't have to call it Part 2 anymore, but you know.
Or remake. It's no longer remake.
No, it's Rebirth. And I find it really interesting how they're showing Crisis Core Reunion on top of it and stuff like that. Like, it's a whole new name.
Oh, yeah, they gotta give it a new name so that it sticks out compared to the original, I guess.
Well, it's probably the remake universe, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That's why I figured they will definitely be remaking Crisis Core. That's what made me suspect it before we even saw the stream. Because I was like, okay, they need to kind of retcon this. Yeah. And make it match the new remake universe. That's why I thought it was a great opportunity to remake Crisis Core other than just like overporting it.
But it made me really curious because with the white feather falling on the Rebirth trailer.
Yeah, and like Sangeal.
Yeah, it's like, don't tell me Angeal's gonna be alive.
Oh, they're probably all gonna show up.
But
like, including like
dead.
Genesis. Zack was dead too.
True. And Genesis, I think for sure is gonna be in it.
Well, yeah, those other guys from Dirge of Cerberus are, so why not also bring some of the villains from the other spin-offs into Rebirth?
But I'm excited, like, definitely for Crisis Core as well.
They're gonna have a lot more problems. They have a lot more to deal with than just Sephiroth this time around. They gotta deal with all of the universe's villains.
Well, just think about it. What if Sephiroth and Genesis team up?
What if all those bad guys just team up?
Hey, throw Rufus Shinra in there while you're at it.
I don't know about that.
No, I don't think so either. He's his own side, and he'll stay his own side for sure.
Oh, so Rufus Shinra is just out for one person, and that is Rufus Shinra himself.
But yeah, I definitely think Genesis could possibly team up with Sephiroth, because they were, like, best friends, like, him and Geo and Genesis.
Plus, they all are, kind of, like, the same thing.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, the only difference is Sephiroth's not degrading. Like.
Plus, they're like the holy trinity of angel wing people. So.
The 3 one-winged angels.
Exactly. They could make a band.
Oh my god. Sephiroth does the vocals.
Does he now? I could see him be like a killer guitarist, though.
Oh, no, that's Genesis, man. Genesis
okay. No, I could see him on drums. Yeah, I can just totally picture.
What about Angio, though? You gotta have Angio somewhere.
Okay, true. Maybe Angio could be, like, I don't know, the bassist. Sephiroth is vocals and guitar, because he's just that talented. He does both.
Jeez.
And then Genesis is the drummer.
Okay.
Someone needs to draw this.
But then again, shouldn't Genesis be the vocalist? He's gacked.
Oh, true. True. You got me there.
I'm too amused by how he's based off gacked, and then you see, like, friggin' him cosplaying gacked, and it's like...
Oh, I know. God. And I love that it basically hinted that this was gonna happen, too.
Not
on the stream,
gacked,
I mean.
Sorry, I meant cosplaying Genesis.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah. But, oh my god. But, another thing with Rebirth is, now that we've been confirmed that it's 3 parts, right?
Yeah.
I definitely think it's gonna get to the Northern Crater.
Yeah, it's not going to necessarily be as drawn out as Midgar was, just because now it's confirmed. Like, originally, if they went at that same pace, I was like, it should be at least 4 games.
Maybe
But now
5.
that it's only 2, I'm thinking they're going to make the second game, I don't know, not necessarily longer.
I do. I think it's going to be a lot longer.
It will kind of be that it's the middle game, and it will be the one they kind of, like, put the most stuff into, like, just pack it with the, I guess, not the climax,
but a lot of the
story
points.
But yeah, it will just kind of like how on the original is, like, wasn't the second disc the longest?
I think
I don't remember.
The first disc was the longest, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, for sure. The third disc was really short. It's just like go to the Northern Crater and fight Sephiroth the end, basically.
Yeah, I know that. That I remembered. I just couldn't remember which was, like, the longest between the first and second disc.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the first disc was
But anyway, we're getting way off track.
Way off
So, what do you want to talk about next? Do you still have more thoughts on Rebirth? Or do you want to... ramble about Crisis
about
Core.
Rebirth till next winter, but
I'll at least be distracted by 16.
Well, so will I, but it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I can't wait. And when we get more trailers too, it's just gonna add more to the hype.
Oh, of course. Once it hits its, like, merchandising phase.
But I'm gonna be careful. I'm not watching the final trailers coming up to it.
You say that now, but watch you'll give in.
But after what they did with Remake, though, I don't know.
We'll see. Square Enix can be so bad at just, like, spoiling too much in their trailers.
Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 spoiled everything.
Well, even, like, some of those last Remake trailers, like you mentioned, kind of showed more than I personally would have liked to see. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm telling myself the same thing about 16, where I'm like, no, I'm gonna stop watching the trailers after so long. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm hungry. I'm hungry for more crumbs, and I know I'll give in. I'm not that strong-willed.
That's like Rebirth too, right? It's like, it's so far away, and if we get more trailers, like, to hype it up, it's like...
Yeah, you're gonna be so tempted to watch it. Like, you tell yourself at the moment, like, oh, no, I can't watch it. We'll spoil too much. But trust me, once you know it's out, you won't be able to resist.
I guess we'll see. We'll see. But, to do a Crisis Core, though...
Yeah.
I'm excited for that. I've always liked Crisis Core.
Yeah.
I was always...
Well, Zach was your favorite, so that makes sense.
I was always iffy with the gameplay.
Yeah,
So-
you sounded disappointed when you noticed the gameplay looked similar on the remake.
I have...
On our reaction video, you were kind of like, oh no, the gameplay's the same.
I have a feeling, though, that it's going to be a lot better.
It will be polished.
Like, I think I'll enjoy it more this time. I still enjoyed it, and thank God they'll have skip cutscenes, because when I kept hearing Hollander say just one sample to Zach every single time, or to Angio, sorry, I was just like, because I kept dying against Angio, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't want to see this again, and
The greatness about modern gaming.
That was
Skipping cutscenes.
I died against Genesis a bunch too, and I kept hearing Zach say, "You're one of us," or something like that, like a million times, and it's such a lengthy cutscene, and it's just like, oh my God, I just want to beat it now. Like,
I know, older games could be so annoying for that very purpose.
So, like, I think that'll help enjoy the experience more too.
Yeah, you won't be having these cutscenes just burned into your brain.
I couldn't believe when I heard Ngio has the same voice actor as the original.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising because the rest of the cast, they're mostly all different. So it was kind of a weird decision that they decided to keep Ngio's original voice, but I guess maybe they just really liked him as Ngio, so they were like, okay, let's get this guy back.
They're like, no one else can be Ngio.
He is Ngio.
Unless it's a really good impersonator of his
Then
old
again,
voice
Gact is
actor.
probably the same too, obviously. So I guess they kept Genesis's as well.
That's Japanese, though. Japanese, they kept all of the same. They have Takahiro Sakurai as Cloud still. You know what I mean?
You're right. Oh my gosh, you're right.
No, that's okay.
All the Japanese is the same as just English.
But
switched up.
Genesis,
We're not as loyal. Whereas, like, Japanese stuff, they always have the same people voice it for years and years and years. Honestly, Japanese voice actors are so loyal.
oh, I know. But, with Genesis, I remember I was iffy with his voice in the original. In the PSP.
Yeah,
and
especially when he has this god-awful voice that is just reading out, like, poetry makes it extra bland.
It's like, oh my God. But then hearing him in the trailer, I was like, okay, that sounded good.
Like, oh, thank God they changed his voice.
Like when he yelled, like, Shinder lapdogs and stuff, I was just like, okay.
He sounds good now.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see if they'll change things, like just like what they did with Remake. Because Remake, they did the exact same thing. They showed us trailers of things we know, things we're familiar with first.
But they hid all the kind of added stuff
for later.
Yes.
Later trailers.
So it will be interesting to see differences for sure. And like you said, maybe this time around, like Angeal won't even die.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I mean, wasn't Genesis already confirmed to still be around too, based on the DLC?
What?
Didn't they bring him up? I don't remember.
No, they didn't bring up Genesis.
I swore they like implied that he was.
Okay, so here's the thing: Genesis, there's stuff to do with him in like Dirge of Cerberus.
Yeah.
To do with those deep ground people. Yeah. That we saw in Yuffie's DLC, and I never played Dirge of Cerberus, but like I've read stuff, and
Well, then you know more than me, because I didn't play it, nor did I really read it.
And so. Genesis doesn't die in Crisis Core. I don't remember fully what happened to him, honestly. It's been a while.
It'll be interesting now down the line, speaking of Dirge of Cerberus, if they also remake that.
Yeah,
I think I can finally experience it.
Yeah. I've heard the gameplay is atrocious in the original.
They'd probably polish it in a remake.
For
But I
sure.
bet they'll save it at this point because, like, how they're doing Crisis Core between Remake 1 and now Rebirth, they'll put Dirge of Cerberus's remake between, like, Rebirth and then the final installment. Just to kind of, I guess, feed people in between.
Yeah.
That's what I'm suspecting anyway.
But just like you said when we were watching the stream, and before the stream even,
Yeah.
There was no better time than to release a Crisis Core remake. With
Oh,
Zack
for
coming
sure.
back.
For sure. It's good
Yeah.
for the new players and then even, you know, those of us who've played the original, because now we can actually see Zack's full story, but with the changes in the remake universe.
Which will be
Because, like, I've always been a bit curious about that. Like, if, you know, obviously there was lots of changes in remake, so I was kind of like, okay, so, like, what changes are probably made to Zack's past aside from what we know, which is, you know, he's survived being the major change.
Yeah. I'm also curious too because they had a character in it, Cisne, who's a Turk and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And she just kind of disappeared at the end of Crisis Core, and it's like, okay, so like where was she? And like,
And will they make her
OG?
more important?
Yeah, so I have a feeling that obviously she's gonna be in Crisis Core because she's in the
And
original.
they'll probably write her into the
Rebirth.
like, Rebirth game
Yeah.
too. Just because, like, I guess that doesn't make sense that she never really got closure. So now maybe she will.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that she has some closure to her character because she was a pretty cool character.
But yeah, anything else to add? We should probably wrap up. It's getting a bit long.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I could go on about this stuff for hours.
Oh, I
It's
know. Me
like-
too. But just for the sake of the video.
But yeah, again, awesome live stream. They delivered.
Oh
what
god,
they-
yeah. Oh gosh, like,
I-
for
I-
sure. Probably one of the best live streams
I
that
know.
Square Enix has, you know, gifted us with.
Yeah, they told you. They said do not miss this, but I did not. I know you kept saying like, it's like I think Crisis Core is gonna be there, and I'm just like,
I kind of suspected that they both would. Like, I wasn't sure, though, in terms of Rebirth, what kind of trailer. I was convinced we would get something.
yeah, we just got a teaser for now. With Rebirth.
Yeah,
for
it didn't show
sure.
too much, but kind of, like, just enough to get us excited.
Yeah, to get us excited, exactly.
And, like, hyped.
Seeing Cloud walking.
And start theorizing.
Seeing Cloud walking in Nibelheim, I was just like, oh my god, that looks so good. I can't wait.
Well, remake's freaking beautiful.
Yes. Like, I've loved these characters, like, for years, and it's just, like, seeing them all like this, seeing the world
Oh, it's a
like
treat.
this. Oh,
An absolute treat.
it brings me back, like, and it's just, like, I love these characters all over again, even more in the remake, like, because, like, they get so much more depth to them, like, I always liked characters, you know, like Barrett and stuff, but then, like, in the remake, I liked Barrett even more, like...
That was, like, me for Cloud.
Yeah. And I couldn't believe how much they expanded on, like, Biggs, Jesse, and Wedge. Like, that's a whole
Just a
nother
lot of
thing.
the support characters, yeah. And even Aerith. Like, in the original game, Tifa was always my favorite.
Oh, I know.
But just, like, after Remake, Aerith was just too damn charming. And now I'm just like, no, Aerith is best girl. She's my favorite.
Don't die.
Yeah, please don't.
Please don't.
Please. I know a lot of people want it to stick true to the original game and they still want her to die, but, like, that would be a change that I would not get mad about. Keep my girl alive,
A lot of
please.
people would be so mad, but it's like,
I don't care.
I'm here for it.
I don't care. Let her survive. Please.
And just like what they've
Anybody
done.
that needs to experience that heartbreak can go play the original game. They don't need to make it happen in both.
Well, especially how much they've developed, like, Cloud and Aerith's relationship in the remake. It's like, oh my god, I can't see this in the remake.
No.
No, like I used to be a really big Cloud Tifa shipper
Of
for
course.
years, I played the remake, and I still shipped Cloud and Tifa, but then you got involved with it, and I'm just like, oh no. Like, because you started shipping it first, and I was just like, oh no, I see it.
You're welcome.
I'm seeing it more and more.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so now I'm just like, yeah, Cloud and Aerith now. Don't do that to us, please, Square. Don't put us through that. But yeah, overall, super excited for both Rebirth and Crisis Core Reunion.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah, it's sick. Crisis Core is coming out this year.
Yes, it has. It gives us something to look forward to before 16 and before Rebirth, of course.
Please
So
make a
it's like-
collector's edition.
They will.
Please.
Final Fantasy always gets collector's editions. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up on that note. If you guys have anything that you want to add or any theories and thoughts of your own, make sure you post them in the comment section below. Anyway, see you guys next time. Take care.